Hello everyone! I have a pretty fun layout for you today. I took this piece of white cardstock and I prepped it with matte gel medium. So I'm using it instead of clear gesso because clear gesso is pretty expensive and I already have matte gel medium in my stash, so I'm just using that instead. I was told at an art store that it works in a similar way. So that's what I decided to try and play with that today. I recently got this stencil from the Crafters Workshop, and it's called Party Lights. I got it in a cute little scrapbooking shop in Los Gatos, California, which is near San Jose. I really loved their store. I wish I had a store that big nearby. They have all the latest and greatest, all kinds of vintagey type items. It really is a beautiful store. It's called the Island Creative Escape, and I picked up this stencil and a couple other things there. I'm gonna leave the link in the description in case you want to go visit them. I listened to a podcast called The Scrap Gals, which is a podcast all about scrapbooking, and it's really, really fun. I heard on the show something about someone using watercolors with a stencil, and I thought that was such a great idea. I was looking forward to playing with my new stencil anyway, so I am trying it here. I thought my Gansai Tambi watercolors would be perfect for this because they are a little thicker and creamier than other watercolors. So that's what I'm using here. And to outline those pink lanterns, I just used my Jane Davenport fountain pen. So I got a couple of fountain pens, and one of them I filled it with the pink mermaid marker color because it was such a pretty pink. It was really my favorite, and I love that it's water soluble. So here with just a little bit of water and white paint, I was able to soften up the look of those lines on the lanterns. So here I'm putting the finishing touches on the stencil, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. And it's really nice. It's a pretty imperfect look, but I think it looks great. You can still see that it's some hanging lights, and I really like the softness of the watercolor. Now I'm gonna repeat the stencil design again, but instead of having those two big lanterns next to each other, I'm gonna skip that first lantern and then start with the second, the first smaller light bulb, and that's gonna give me an image that doesn't look like a mirror, like a mirror image from the one I just did. It's gonna look a little more organic and like I'm continuing the lights, like if the lights are continuing and instead of repeating all over again. So you see how I only have 5 of those big lanterns instead of 6 of them. So I didn't repeat the stencil exactly, which I like that look a lot better. Now I'm just filling in the yellow with a very soft yellow around the light bulbs, and I'm just doing this under all the light bulbs and in between, just to give it a kind of a glow that you would see if they were all on. The whole process for this layout took me less than an hour. I would say maybe 40 minutes because a couple of times I left the video running and I went to go take care of my daughter. So it's really, it didn't take me as long as I thought it would. I also did cut out a lot of the process, the little tedious bits and the cleaning up in between. Now I'm going through some ephemera by Amy Tangerine, and I really like the handwritten look of this ephemera that's actually printed on acetate. So I'm gonna go for that because it kind of complements the watercolor look that my layout has going on so far. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you. So see those big droplets under my photo? my Prima Color Bloom mist was kind of not working so well, so I was holding it up high so I could get the light spray that you see there, but it wasn't working, so it was giving me these big droplets. So I went over my trash can and I did a big squirt of it, and then that kind of unblocked it, got it going, and I held up my spray bottle over my layout and squeezed just a tiny bit, and all these tiny droplets came out, and that's how I got that effect on the bottom right of my layout. And I really like it because I think it kind of mimics the little tiny light bulbs that are on that dragon in my photo. Now I'm just gonna mat my photo on this text paper, and I'm gonna look. This is from the Maps and Ledgers stack by DCWV, and it's very thin paper. It's just it's not cardstock weight. It's just regular thin paper, and so is this textile stack. This is one of my favorite stacks for matting photos. It has all kinds of different colored prints, and it has different size prints, so it's really a very versatile stack. Now I'm gonna mat my photo on this pink paper because the color of this paper reminds me of the color of those lanterns. It's kind of like a hot pink kind of fuchsia color, so I think this just makes my layout feel more connected, like the top and the bottom are not so separate anymore because that color brings them together. Now I'm gonna use this doily behind my photo. I really like using doilies because it's like such a soft feminine touch, and it also gives the edges a little roundness so that everything is not looking so pointy and sharp. So I'm just using my big ATG gun to adhere everything, and I really love using that adhesive. That's my favorite. I think mostly because it doesn't run out as fast. The adhesive lasts a really long time. It's repositionable for like the first 10 minutes, and then after that it's really permanent. So I don't have any problem with things falling off my layouts or anything. And I really like the fact that it's repositionable at first because I have the option of peeling things up and doing some more layering underneath, or changing my mind about where something goes. So now I'm gonna tuck these little pieces of paper. I think these are from the Cute Girl 6x6 stack. And I've just cut a small piece into 2 strips, and I'm just tucking it behind my photo to make it look like there's another big piece of paper back there. Okay, so I might be like the last scrapbooker that doesn't have a tiny attacher, but I still use my little 99-cent stapler because it still works and it takes mini staples, and I don't have to buy like special tiny attacher staples. So I just use this mouse pad under my layout, and I open my stapler flat, and then I can staple anywhere on the page. And staples are my favorite way of holding down my acetate pieces. I really like the look of the clear acetate and then the metal staple together. And then when I'm done stapling them, I just turn my layout over and pull the staples all the way through and press them down with my fingers. And I mean, this is very easy. It works for me, so I haven't been too tempted to get a tiny attacher yet. If you have a tiny attacher, do you love it? What do you think? Is it necessary? Should I get one? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, these are the Tim Holtz small talk stickers that they have really fun phrases on them. So I used a couple of adventure and travel ones. Like up there, I put be open to whatever comes next. The journey is the destination. And then down under the title that says totally fun, I'm putting adventure is worthwhile. Because in my journaling, I'm going to talk about how we were considering not going to Vegas because we have a 2-year-old. and we didn't think that we would have that much fun, but it actually turned out to be really nice. She loved being on vacation, and we found out that we have the traveling type. We have a baby that's the traveling type, so she totally loved it. It was more family friendly than I thought it would be, and it was our first real, family vacation. So it was we had a really nice time, and we were glad that we went after all. So now I'm putting these little vellum word stickers right over my lights, and on the camera you can't really see them as well. In person they're a little more noticeable, and they just add like the softest touch to my layout, which I really really like. And up here I'm just doing my journaling all around. Instead of just doing a doodly outline, I'm using it for my journaling. I just want to point out to you guys that I made the background before I even knew what photo I was using. So that was really fun and different. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!